Hey, welcome to episode 176 of Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. A few months ago, I was just looking around Facebook and I noticed one of my friends is creating these amazing pieces of art. And I was like, huh? Because I hadn't known him as an artist before. So I was very impressed, and I wanted to get more of the story. And oh my gosh, is this story fascinating? Stay tuned. Back in a sec.
Today's guest, Charles Vest.
Charles Vest embarked on his captivating journey into the world of art just over a year ago. Within that short span, he has evolved into a formidable force, leaving an indelible mark on the artistic landscape. In fluid art, Charles Vest has found a medium that allows him to express his emotions and thoughts in mesmerizing, vibrant compositions. His works captivate the imagination and evoke a spectrum of emotions. I don't want to tell too much of this amazing story, so please help me welcome Charles. Hey, welcome, my friend. Welcome to Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. Woo!
Yes. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. My good friend Jason. I think we've known each other for at least 5 years, but it could be like 8 or 9. I don't know. It's been a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking between around 2013 or 14. So
That's 10.
yeah.
When you were 10.
When you were 5. My friend, tell me about what did you create when you were a kid?
What did
you like to create?
I played marbles. And let's see, what did I create? I was into the Lincoln Logs and the Legos, so I created things out of that. And that was about it when I was a kid. You know, maybe you know what I created? I made a go-kart out of a lawnmower. That's what I did.
You figured out how to make a go-kart out of lawnmower. Wow.
Yeah, you're not old enough, but back in the day, we would take a lawnmower motor and get it to crank the wheels of a go-kart. It was awesome. There were no helmets involved in the driving of a go-kart on our streets.
So my uncle actually got me one of those lawnmower go-karts. He bought it from someone, only it didn't really work. Yeah, sounds much better.
Yeah, mine was made by an actual mechanic, and it was like his project. And so my dad actually paid $50 for this go-kart. But anyway, it worked for a while until I flipped it, and then I didn't want to ride it anymore. A little bit too powerful.
You flipped it?
Yeah, I flipped it. That, we would just ride anywhere, and I thought it'd be a good idea to ride it down the ice plants of a canyon. I was not smart.
Did you get hurt?
Well, all kids got hurt. I mean, that was my badge of honor. I think I got enough damage to get some street cred back in the day. So, when I grew up, back in the 60s, believe it or not, when I grew up, there was we did whatever we could to create whatever we could. We all did it together, which was the most amazing part. In my street, even though it was, not really the ghetto, but like maybe one level up from the ghetto, we just ended up, and I think I took it with me throughout my life, just ended up taking whatever we could find and making something out of it. And so nothing got thrown away. We used drywall to make our football field on the blacktop. We used cardboard to make slides. I mean, whatever we could find, we used, and I think that kind of has helped me today.
There's a certain, the ability to look at drywall and think, oh, this could be a football field. That really takes creativity.
Well, it takes a village, really. And so you got 20 kids kind of all in the similar age groups, and we all just kind of, work together. Let's, we want to play football. How are we going to mark up the football field? And, chalk didn't last too long on blacktop, but somehow I think someone ran over some drywall at one point and it left a really, bright mark. And we were like, hey, let's go to the house. Oh, those were the days. Anyway, that was my first artwork, was actually drawing a straight line on the blacktop for the goal line.
Oh, wow. Did you enjoy art in school?
I was not really an artist in school. I mean, I enjoyed coloring when I was real young, but then, junior high and high school, the side of the brain that actually, creates, and I don't know if it's left or right. I think it's right, but whatever. 50-50 chance. Anyway, the side of the brain that is creative, I was into music at the time. And so music was really where I used all of that, brain power, that creative brain power. And so I learned a bunch of different instruments and really enjoyed musical stuff all the way up until right before I became an artist.
Did you play in bands in high school and stuff?
I didn't play in bands. I was in choir. I played the guitar, and so they'd let me play guitar while the choir would sing, or I would play in the quad. And I was in a band of two. That we were just playing, and I became a church camp counselor because I knew how to play the guitar, and so I did that. And I was performing for amazing audience of 4th grade through 6th graders in the mountains, and then later on, after I graduated from college, I joined my friend's band, and we ended up becoming very popular to the point that the band ended up being one of the top 3 bands in San Diego, and we performed 3 nights a week, every night, till 2 a.m, and I got all my chops. But that was a whole different instrument. I started out with guitar, and then I ended up auditioning for this band to be a guitarist. And then when the actual guitarist showed up, he was way better than me. And so they said, you could join the band, but you got to find another instrument. And so I decided, and this is really important for my development, I decided, okay, well, what instrument don't you have? And they decided that they don't have congas or bongos, or the clap machine, where you can hit the machine and make it clap. And so I said, okay, I'll be back in a couple months. And so I learned how to play the congas and got myself a machine, came back and auditioned, got the gig, and then became a percussionist that actually was able to perform with very, very popular bands. Today, I still get called to do percussion work for Hall & Oates or for Kool and the Gang, or whenever they're in town, they give me a call if their percussionist isn't available. So yeah, I kind of have this ability to catch on creatively and take it to the next level.
So this is crucial. When they said we don't really need a guitarist, you didn't say, oh, that's too bad, I'm only a guitarist. You asked, what instrument do you need?
Yes, I did. And it was percussion. They could have said trumpet. I would have went out and learned how to play the trumpet, I guess. But percussion was it. So I grabbed some cheap congas from someone and then took lessons. I dove in and then came back with just enough to play, and then I kept learning more and more. And I learned this one thing, and you and I both have a similar mentor in Greg Reed. And I
Yeah.
learned that, if you want to learn, if you want to be successful at something, find someone that's already successful and ask them how they did it rather than going through the whole 10-year process of learning on your own. And so I was able to find a professional percussionist, and cost me like, $100 a lesson. And he taught me the basics, enough to get good enough to get the gig. So that's pretty much how I approach life. I find the experts and I go hang with them.
The other part of the story is you must have really wanted to be in that band.
Come on, who doesn't want to be in a rock band? That was where all the girls are hanging out. So whatever it took, I decided I wanted to be part of that lifestyle. It ended up being not as fun as I thought it would be, because having a job and playing a gig until 2 a.m, and I picked an instrument that took like 45 minutes to break down and put in your car, and you're all
Oh,
tired.
God.
So now it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I have to get up at 7 in the morning and get ready for work. That was hard, but I was young, so I did
How
it until I
long did you say you did that for? How long?
1984 to now 2020. I mean, I just left the band when I became a professional artist. What I do now. So I left the band, about a year ago. So to 23. So almost 20 years. No,
So,
almost 30 years. Almost 30 years. Yeah.
so you were doing gigs until late at night and waking up early in the morning till now?
hmm I mean, in the beginning, it was a lot more than I did. Maybe the last couple of years, it ended up being like maybe once a month, because we progressed to playing bigger gigs, like the casinos and stuff. And so we would play a casino for 3 nights in a row, once a month, and that was a little bit different than going to a bar and doing that thing every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday every week.
So you learn percussion because you wanted to play in this band, and that took you on a 20-year journey.
Yeah. hmm I mean, I love music, and there's nothing better than performing and seeing just a crowd of people just enjoying what you're doing. And I keep that with me today. When I paint much better when there's an audience. And so uh, I guess all those lessons kind of percolated through my life to now.
Speaking of painting, what was the start of this career like really intentional? Like, did you sit down and go, "Oh, what do I want to do? I want to paint," or what's the story there?
Yeah, no, that's not how it went down. What happened was, I had a girlfriend that was an artist, or is an artist still, and she would paint, and then I would watch, and I got bored and frustrated very quickly, and so I started, you know, asking her, what can I do to help? And so I started organizing paints and working in her studio, building shelves, whatever I could do, because I really didn't enjoy her painting as much as I could have. And so finally she got frustrated with me, and she says, if you don't like the way I paint, then here's a canvas, and here's some paint, and here's a straw, and why don't you make something? And so I said, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot. First time ever touching paint to canvas. What do you do with the straw? She says, just blow the paint around. And I actually have that painting on the wall if you want me to bring it and show you.
Yeah, please.
Here we go. Okay, 1 second. All right. The painting that I did first time out the gate with the straw was
I'm going to make you the whole screen. How do I do that? Just solo layout.
there we go. So she gave me a few paints, black, purple, I don't know, there might have been gold and some white, and I just threw it on the canvas and started blowing it out with a straw. And I went, this looks cool. And she goes, wow, there you go. That's amazing.
It's like vertebrae almost.
What's that?
It's like it's like the backbone almost.
I think it looks like a cartoon character. Like there's a face right here, and then like maybe there's a nose right there. It's pretty cool. So
yeah, well, it really is.
That's the first thing I ever did, and she looked at it and said, "Holy smokes, that's pretty nice." Yeah, you should think about painting more. You kind of have a gift. And I went, I guess I do. Huh. Okay, let's paint some more. And here we go.
So that painting with a straw is beautiful, but is not the fluid art you're doing now, is it?
No. You can see there's different things that I do. I do a bunch of different styles, but the fluid art that I do now is more poured paint rather than pushed paint, if you will. But that painting, I blew, or like this painting's like that right there. That one is with a hair dryer. That's with the hair dryer. Let's see here. This one is more of a full cup pour. That's with a whole bunch of colors and silicone. That's a 2 foot by 4 foot painting, and that's pouring different areas and just tilting the canvas. So there's a lot of different ways that I've learned how to paint fluid art. But the one thing that is constant is that there's no paintbrushes used in painting. So people see some of my art and they go, how did you create all those, colors and structure and design? And I tell them, I it's magic. I don't use a paintbrush. So this is what I get to do when I get to show people. So then I got into doing rounds, as you can see those rounds back there and the rounds right here. And so they're in buildings all over San Diego right now. Some of my paintings. It's pretty cool.
So your girlfriend at the time said, "Yeah, you have talent here." And then some people would just kept painting with a straw because that's a talent you've been endorsed as having. How did you come upon all these different techniques that you're using?
Good question. And just so you know, I'm still the only thing on the screen in case your beautiful face needs to be seen too.
Thanks.
Yeah. So what I did, just like anything else, is I fell in love with painting. There you go. I fell in love with painting, and then I went and sought out experts. So because what I don't want, and I hope if anyone's watching this, and doesn't matter how old you are, where you are in life, if you want to do something and you find a joy, in doing it, and you want to get better at it, again, I say you have a choice. And the choice is to go to school or do something to take the long version of all the history and how to do it, like maybe the way you did podcasting. You could do the long version or the short version. And I always I want the short version. Who can teach me what I need to learn? And so it turns out that there was everyone's seen this type of art online, and they've seen videos. Almost everyone's seen videos of people doing it. Well, I contacted those people when I saw something I liked, and I said, are there any of your videos that I should look at to really learn how to do what you do. And then
Oh,
some of them showed me their videos, and then others, two of them actually says, well, I have a course. Of course, they wanted me to spend money, but why not? That I have a course for $179 that teaches you everything from start to finish and what I did. And so here's another difference. And I know I'm kind of running on, but another difference is when, a lot of people, I was talking to my current girlfriend, and she says, I've gone through at least 25 courses in my life, and I've never finished them. I started them, I got excited about them, and then halfway through, I kind of like, and then two-thirds, I'm done. I haven't finished any of them. And then I even spent like $10,000 on a course, and I did the same thing. That's what she said. And then for me, if I'm going to pay $180 for a course, I literally get in the cave. I call it my man cave mentality, and I do the whole course, start to finish, as fast as I can. Maybe it took a week, and but I do the whole thing. And then I learned, and it turns out that that's only like 2% of the population actually finishes a course. So I actually learned how to do the painting stuff, and I took 2 courses, one on Dutch pours, and another one on cloud pours. And then I went to a convention and saw all of my idols. There was a convention you had to pay like $1,400 to go to the first fluid art convention in Vegas. And so I signed up for it. It turns out there's all my idols, and they, showed me their tricks, and so it was really a short training course to get to where I am today. But I was putting out stuff in 60 days that you had seen, and other friends had seen. That just because I did that little bit of training, I was able to create amazing pieces. Today, I still am like, how did I do that?
I do love the question. Instead of just watching things on the internet, you contacted the people, asked them what videos should I watch of yours, which in any creator, most creators want the interaction, and so of course they responded, and
Absolutely.
then you found 2 courses, and you bought them, and you finished the courses, and suddenly you're at the first convention in Vegas.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly how it went down. Well, I mean, I signed up for it. Maybe Facebook saw me coming or something like that. They heard me talking about fluid art or whatever. But I signed up for it after I had been an artist, I guess for maybe I've been an artist for 3 or 4 months. And then the convention was 9 months, later. And but by that time I had developed some skills enough to know enough to be dangerous, and it just was perfect timing to actually go there. And let me tell you, I thought that being in a band was where you can meet great women, but I found out that there are no tall, dark, and handsome artists out there in the fluid art world. I was like a Twinkie in a fat farm. I mean, it was amazing as I walked through there with.
That's awesome.
Anyway, it was just funny that I'm, here's King Charles coming through, and I'm like the only, not only the only guy, but I'm like the only Black guy. And we're like, you're an artist? I'm like, yeah, look at this stuff. This is great. I'm having a great time, and I'm playing with stencils and all kinds of things there. And it's just a blast to be kind of different in the community. Do you know anything about being different in the community?
None at all. I'm just plain. I kind of blend in. No one notices me at all.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I was, I don't know, awkwardly awesome in the community of painters. I don't know.
Awesome. and that was just a joke, by the way. Anytime I open my mouth, mouth. I'm unique in a community, and
Mhm.
it is kind of there's a sudden joy to be being awkwardly awesome in a community, isn't there?
There is absolutely a joy in it. I mean, I embrace it. And, my name was an accident. I remember sitting down and and someone said, "Oh, hi, how you doing? What's your name?" Because, no, I'm sorry. We were all introducing ourselves. There was maybe 15 of us. And they said, tell us something special about you. That's what happened. And then when it got to me, I said, well, my name is King Charles. I just thought of it out of nowhere. I said, I used to be a prince because he was King Charles was a prince. I said, but now I'm a king. So I'm now King Charles. And I just said that to be funny. And then people were like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. King Charles. All right. Great. Great to meet you. And every time someone would walk by, I go, hey, there's King Charles there. And so here I am, King Charles, which is cool. And so this place right here is called the Painter's Palace because I'm a king. So why not?
And you wanted to alliterate Painter's Palace, so it's not the Painter's Castle, it's the Painter's Palace.
Yeah, great story and manifestation how I got this place, but we'll go down your path rather than to go down my path because I can go down a bunch of different avenues.
Do I want? Oh, I just wanted to underscore. Did you say this was the first convention of this
Yeah, it
type
was the
of?
first one ever, actually.
So your girlfriend at the time saw you were bored, gave you a canvas, you sought out experts to learn from, and suddenly you're on the ground floor of this field.
Yep.
Wow.
And people, I would just post my paintings on Facebook, just going, hey, actually someone said, well, I want to buy your paintings, Charles, before you become famous and charge a lot of money. And so I'm like, really? And so they're like, how much would you sell your like painting number 8 that I did? And um and I people wanted to buy my stuff. And it's because I had friends like you and others that when they saw that I was creating something special, this is so important. I just realized this. They supported me and they were thinking, whatever you paint, I'm just going to support you anyway, because I'm your friend. And so, but then it turned out I was painting some pretty cool looking stuff. And so someone said, well, you should do a series of your paintings. And so I did a first 100 series. And like if you go on Instagram or whatever, you'll see my first 100 paintings. And then it turns out, I sign them, painting number 8, number 24, number 55. And I sold pretty much like maybe I sold 70 of them. I mean, a lot. I have some here. Like I have my first 5 here because I like how bad they were. And then all of a sudden I got good. But I I had a lot of support, and having that support is big. Having someone look at my painting and go, "Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Can I buy it?" was like so odd for me. And then, so I was able I was able to really get a charge out of doing something and having someone look at my art and actually have a reaction and want to buy it. And that just fueled me to where I am now, where at 4 o'clock every morning I'm painting something. And like I got some paintings drying over. I got my newest thing drying over there. It's this, I mean, I can give you a tour, but there's a lot of cool stuff happening. And it turns out a lot of artists, and I don't know, whatever you do, right? A lot of people don't ever sell what they do. And I have sold a whole bunch of what I do, and it's a big difference on attitude. And so I wrote a book, as you know, called Ninja Sales Secrets before I became an artist. And so now I'm writing a book called Ninja Art Secrets. Something
Wow.
small, show you how you can become an artist in like 90 days And actually, it turns out that so many artists, like maybe like 99% of them, do not know how to sell or even have a desire because they think sales is icky to how to sell their stuff. And so that's what I now get to teach people is not only how to paint, because now I teach people how to paint with shortcuts that I know, but I also teach them how to sell their stuff.
So, before we get any further, how do people find you on Instagram?
They find King Charles the Artist.
King
Or my
Charles the
King
Artist.
Charles the Artist. Yeah, that's my Instagram handle. And you'll see the last. Oh, what I was getting at is I ended up doing 200 and I think it was 13, something around there, 200 and change of paintings in 1 year, my first year. That's a lot.
So, I'll get to that in a sec, but say I come to you and I'm a watercolor artist and say, Charles, I love doing watercolors. I have 500 paintings in my basement, but I don't like sales, it's just so awkward. What are a few things you would tell me to start moving in another direction rather than hiding all my paintings in my basement?
Great discussion. So, the first thing I would ask you, Jason, let's say it's you, I would say, would you buy your stuff if you saw it?
Of course, I love my stuff. Of
Okay,
course.
that's the first thing. If you have to love your own stuff, right? And you said it easily, but a lot of people be like, ah, you know, it's okay, right? I'm all right. But unless you really are proud of what you did, like if you saw your stuff at a yard sale or at a whatever art gallery, would you buy it? And so that's the number one. And then
So,
now that you
so,
said
so before we go forward, there are those people who are like amazing artists. Like you look at their work and you go, wow. But then you ask them, will you buy your stuff? And they're like, it's okay.
yeah,
So what would you tell those people who are amazing but still drastically undercutting what they do?
yeah, I would say before you could sell your stuff, at least from my perspective, if you want to, because someone who's already in a gallery, whatever they figured it out, but someone who has 100 paintings in their basement and they go, you know, I asked them, have you sold any of your paintings? So let's say they go, yeah, my parents bought one or whatever, right? So okay. So is there anyone that you know that loves your paintings? Because if you don't, okay, fine. But is there anyone that does? And I actually make them dig into that. And I know this doesn't sound like how to do sales, but unless you feel that what you have has value to people, you're never going to sell it. And so I get like you might say, yeah, my friend John loves my paintings, and Julie was over the other day and she loves them. And I would say, well, what did they say? Well, how would they write something for you that says how they felt? Because third party validation is part of the sales structure. If I say to someone, you've got to see Jason's paintings, they're amazing and they're great price because he doesn't see how valuable they are. And so here's your chance. Then when they see your painting, when they see you, you don't have to sell it to them. They're already sold by me, a fan. And so
Yeah.
the first thing I do is I get you to surround yourself, or at least tell me who really likes your stuff. And then we can work from there. Step number one is someone has to value what you have. If your painting is crap and nobody likes it, you're not going to sell it. And I don't even want to. I actually will be the one that says, it's time to put the paintbrushes down.
So then what's step two?
Step two would be to say the truth. And this is so huge, and no matter what it is that you want to sell, the truth is you are probably a terrible salesperson. And so you say it. First of all, I suck at sales. Okay? I hate sales. And you say it out loud to your audience, to the person that's in front of you on Facebook. You put your painting out there and you go, I suck at sales. But I'd love for anyone to take a look at this painting and offer me something for it. I mean,
so wait, Charles, wait.
wait.
I mean, aren't we supposed to all pretend that we are great at sales and the best salesperson ever, even if we feel all butterfly inside?
No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. If you don't feel like, you see, a lot of people think that they have to be good at sales to sell something. And the fact is that nobody buys from a faker. You're not authentic. It's much better if you say, I have no idea how to sell. I'm bad at it. I'm not a salesperson. So, here's the price, and people will respect the truth, the authenticness. I know it goes against the grain, but that's how you become better at sales. You just say the truth. I suck at sales. And I've even said it as a way to lower the temperature in a large sales environment where I walk into a conference room and they're all there like, oh my God, he's the VP of sales for blah, blah. And I go, first of all, everyone, take your wallets and put them back in your drawer, as if anybody's going to pull money out of their wallet, right? Take your wallets and put it back in the drawer. And I'm going to let you know right now, I'm a terrible salesperson. So I'm just honest, and I'll just be honest with you, and hopefully you'll buy because I will not lie to you. And half of just doing that is halfway there, because people just want to be on authenticness. So number 2, be honest.
The number 2 is absolutely it's profound, and it's profound.
Thank you.
So that's number 2.
Yeah. Number 3, put your stuff out on something social and be consistent. Okay. You got 100 paintings. So obviously, you need to put them out, so that people can see them. If you don't have any friends, if you have no social media, if you're just, a cave person, chances are you're probably not going to sell any paintings, and, hang up your deal, but if you're going to sell your stuff, it needs to be marketed one way or another. And so here's what people do wrong. I say, you got to take some pictures of your art and put it out on Facebook, so at least people can say if they like it or not. Not if you're trying to sell it, just do they like it or not? How's this look? And what people do as a mistake is when they hear that, they think I should take 100 pictures of 100 paintings, get them all edited, make sure the lighting's right, and we have this tendency to get ready, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We get all bogged down in that. And then I would say, stop, take 3 paintings and get 3 of your cell phone pictures of the paintings and send them to me. And I'll do the editing for you. I'll crop it for you. I'll put it in an imaginary room or whatever. And then when they see, like I did my first art walk here in the Palace, and it was just inviting people over to see the art, on the walls. And I invited 2 other artists that are artists that have a bunch of paintings that they never sold. And I said, come on over. And so the short story of it is that I remember one lady, her name is Elena, beautiful art that she did. She never sold any of it. And I had a space on my wall, like this area see, I'm backwards, so it goes right here. This area right here, I took everything off of it, and I said, that's your spot, Elena. And she's like, what do you? And so we hung all of her 15 paintings on the wall right there, and she started crying
Mm.
because she had never seen her painting actually displayed. It's all leaning up on the floor next to each other and on easels. And, it really changed her viewpoint of how great of an artist she is when she actually saw it on the wall. It changes how you feel about your stuff. So anyway, marketing, get your stuff out so other people can see it. Not that you're trying to sell it, just so people can see it. Because if somebody saw your painting and they said, my gosh, that's beautiful, Jason. Wow, it moves me. Well, that's all you need to hear, right? And now you got motivation. You didn't sell it, but at least someone likes it. And then we can work on how to sell it. And there's like if you got my book Ninja Sales Secrets, you'll see. I'm not trying to sell my book. It's $9 and it's like 8 years old. But if you get it, Ninja Sales Secrets, you'll see 20 very, very, very simple things to learn in sales, and you'll find out it's much easier than you think.
I need to get the book.
I got one for you. I'll send it over. I got the electronic one. That's good too.
Sweet. That's awesome. So another thing I want to celebrate, like sometimes when we start something off, I don't know why we do this, but we start off slowly, like maybe making 5 paintings in a year, or 7 paintings to say, we started as a painter, yay! But you said you did 200. 200. That's a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So a whole lot of experience.
Yeah. I mean, I learned how to do a lot of paintings at a time. And so, you see these big ones, but I also did small ones, like this big. And there was a recovery center that I had volunteered to help out for Thanksgiving or something for Christmas. And they says, well, do you have anything you could donate? And I was like, I guess, I mean, I could donate 1 or 2 paintings. They said, but we have 100 people here. Is there, do you have anything to donate? And so I actually learned how to do 100 paintings in a weekend. And we did 100 tile paintings, literally threw the paint on all the tiles, got a hair dryer, got the cell activator, blew it all throughout the thing, let it all dry. And it got these real cool little easels. So everyone got their own cool, they get to choose what they wanted. And so there's 100 out of the 214 or whatever that I did. And so, I don't want you to think that I'm like, did 200 of these guys, but I still did, over 200 paintings in a year. And it made me feel great to see people's reactions, because they'll see something that big and it was just as powerful for someone in recovery. They've lost all their stuff. And for me to have painted something, they go, oh, that's my favorite color. Oh, that reminds me of my, of how my brain works or whatever. And just to donate that just really fueled me. I mean, most of what I do is all energy work now. And so that's a whole different level. Like I used to paint. Now the paint tells me, I used to, tell the paint what to do. Now the paint tells me what it wants to do. So whole different look.
Well, you keep giving me more and more branches to go down. So this is a great point about when we start something new. I mean, this has changed your life in the last year and made it better, but also you enhanced definitely all the people in the recovery group, and you've enhanced all the people who've gotten the paintings, and we're going to go into where your paintings are in a minute because it's amazing. But first of all, you said the painting's painting you now. What do you mean by that?
Fluid art is literally pouring paint on a canvas and manipulating it some way or another without a paintbrush. Okay, there's different ways you can pour it. You can all kinds of styles, but mostly it's a cup of paint, and you pour it on the canvas, and then you tilt the canvas, or you blow it with the straw, or you blow it with your mouth, or you blow it, or you scribble on it, or whatever. That's fluid art. So, uh, when I do it, I really learned from my girlfriend at the time. Like, she would talk to the paint. She would go, "You're so beautiful. You know, you're gonna be amazing." And and I can't wait to see what you create. And I thought that was really foolish until I started talking to the paint. And I would say, "You're beautiful, I guess. You're gonna be awesome. And make me proud." So I would tip with that energy, and it would be amazing. And then someone said, "Well, Charles, you can actually put your own intention in the paint energetically, for those of you who are into the woo-woo stuff." And I was like, that sounds awesome. And so I literally would I'd mix all the paint together, and I would hold the cup, and I would really think, the person that's going to receive this painting is going to be motivated with gratitude, or blessed with, amazing love, energy, or whatever. They're going to be inspired. They're going to be energized, whatever. I would put it right into the paint, and then I would pour it. And so fast forward to now, I have certain music that I play when I paint. I have intentions, and then I go, after pouring on the canvas, I go, you're in charge now. You show me what you want to do, and I'll pour it, and I'll tilt it, and then I'll basically ask the paint. It kind of shows me, because I'm trying not to get too deep into it, but when you pour paint on a canvas, you literally, the way that I do this is I put, maybe let's say, white, purple, gold, violet, white, purple, gold, and I'll pour them into this cup. Okay. And then I'll pour the paint just like that on the canvas. And then I tilt it on the canvas. And then it has those colors just kind of showing up. And then it's how much you're going to leave on the canvas as you're tilting it, how much you're going to let run off, which way is it going to go, left and right. I got a great example right here next to me. Can I show it to you?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Here we go. Here's a perfect example right here on this wall. And so this is, let's get out of the light here. This here is a painting that I did, of course, and there was a bunch more happening, but I let it tilt off the canvas until it made this. And so then when it made that, I was like, is that what you want? Is that how you want to do it? And we work together and we create these cool designs. So this is part of a 4-part series of different color schemes. And I now work in unison with the paint. So that's kind of how I do it now. We have a relationship now. And I think that a lot of artists and creators have a relationship with their medium, where they create something like a piano player, it's the same thing, I think. So I become one with the paint.
That's fascinating, and creating anything that occurs to me involves the part of it we do control, and then the part that's beyond our control. I guess that's not an absolute statement. There's some things we can control totally, but not that many. But what you describe as,
I can pick the colors, but I cannot predict how they're going to look when they get poured out of the cup. I can't. And if you try, like you see something, like someone usually sends me a painting and they go, I want something like this. I want a sunset and I want a beach. And I'm like, I can do gold and maroon and blue and sand color, but that's about it. We'll see what happens, and so that's how fluid artists are. We're
So,
fluid.
so as I show some of your paintings, people can get a close up. Will you talk about some of the places your paintings have found homes in the last since you started over a year ago?
Sure. Oh, that's not what I remember. That's my man Valentine painting, So anyway, the paintings are finding homes because they're in a lot of my friends' homes. I do different sizes, so that one's like 12 by 24, I think it is, and these paintings have now ended up in restaurants around town. Lots of
You said not just restaurants, some of the best restaurants in San Diego, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've been lucky. One of the top restaurant owners uh, saw my paintings in a building and asked me, which was really cool. They asked me to go to their restaurant, 6 restaurants, very high end, most of them are, and eat at their restaurant for free and look at the walls and then come back to them and tell them what paintings would go good. And if they picked them, then I have paintings in 3 out of the 6 restaurants so far, and I haven't gone to the other 3. And then I have them in beauty parlors and there's like nail salons that just really like the color, and they're all over. I'm in a few office buildings, but more importantly, I'm in a lot of homes. And somehow, very early on in obviously, I'm still early in my career, but I had these really cool friends, and one of my friends is the top real estate salesperson, one of the top ones in Vegas. And so she saw one of my bigger paintings and said, I want you to paint me one for my bedroom in the similar colors. And then after I did that, which is really similar to this one right here, then after I did that, she says, I want to offer your paintings to everyone that buys a mansion from me as a gift to them. And so I now have 4 big commissions for the mansions that she has sold.
Mm.
And I'm now up to 32 commissions of people that are waiting for my paintings that want to pay me money for them. And I just haven't got them done yet. It's a great problem to have. So
And plus, you're actually now teaching people how to do
yeah,
this, right?
yeah. I'm finishing my course right now. Actually, the first course is an 8-week or 8-step, but we'll just call it 8-week course on fluid art, and also here at the Palace, I promise anyone that I can turn you from stick figure to Picasso in 3 hours.
Stick figure to Picasso in 3 hours.
Yes, yes, I can. And so most people say I can't even draw a stick figure. I can't even do it. I have no artistic. And then when they come here for my 3-hour, course, which is really like I do, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, like couples. And then like I say, do you have any kids? Bring your kid with you, 1 or 2 kids. And so we'll do a family thing, and I will teach the up to 5 people how to paint, and they will all leave if it's dry by the next day, but they'll all have painted something amazing, and people just can't believe how well you can paint things because you just got to learn you just got to know the secrets to it. It's like I'm like a magician, right? You see people do card tricks all the time. And when you see it the first time, when they make a card disappear, you're like, oh my God, how did you do that? And then if they are nice enough to tell you, it's literally you take the card and you flip your finger back. You take the card and you flip your finger back, and they don't see it. And that's the trick. But you got to get good at it, right? So I teach people the tricks of becoming an artist without having to spend 10 years in school and do all these things. And I'd say, just look on the wall and tell me what type of painting you want to do. And I literally can teach you how to do it in 3 hours time.
So you must have seen people come into your studio who are like, Charles, I'm not creative at all. I can't create
All the
anything.
time.
And what's it like for them 3 hours later when they've created something they find beautiful?
What do you think? It's mind-boggling. They're changed. And that's what I like about it. They're literally changed. And what's really interesting is painting is so subjective. So I have some paintings here on the walls that I really don't like. I mean, they're crap, in my opinion, right? It's just a menagerie of colors. And I just leave them on the wall. And inevitably somebody will come in. I remember the husband and wife that came in, and he's like, I want to paint something like that. And I'm like, that's like my worst painting. And he's like, that is exactly what I want to learn how to do. And so my old girlfriend and I have this saying, and it's, somebody's going to buy this stuff, right? Someone's going to like it. And it's usually the worst thing that you have in your display is the first thing that gets bought or gets admired. It's crazy. It's all subjective. So you might have 100 paintings in your basement, and you're like thinking that these 5 paintings are your best. It turns out the one that people like is the crappy one that you didn't like. You never know.
So you told me last week when we talked that one of the secrets of sales is edifying others before yourself, and it sounds like what you're talking about. You're not saying, oh, don't buy that painting, I think it's crappy. You're saying, oh, if you love that painting, buy that painting because you love it. It's not,
Yes.
it doesn't matter what you think of it. It matters what they think of it.
Yeah. Most of us talk people out of buying something. They say, I want to buy that. How much is it? And then you're like, oh, that crappy thing? I don't know. I don't even like it. You know, how much you want to give me? Well, you just lowered the value all the way down to nothing, right? If someone says that I want to buy that, I go, oh, great choice. You know, like they say at the restaurant, you know, when you look on the menu, it's like, oh, great choice. I'm thinking, get that thing off my wall.
So, I ask all my guests this, and I'm excited to ask you this too. So what does the phrase imperfect best mean to you?
What is the what?
What does the phrase doing your imperfect best mean to
Ah,
you?
means being human. Be the best at being human. Flawed, awkward, not a good salesperson, whatever it is, just be the best at being you. And you'll find that you are good enough. When you actually accept how you are, which as you know, you accept how you are and just revel in it. This is me. I'm a tall and handsome painter, you know, that you know gets to do what I love and make people's lives change by, you know, some crazy talent that I was given from above. So yeah, that's what I would just embrace the fact that you're human, not superhuman.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you mentioned your Instagram page. Is there any other way you want people to get a hold of you?
That's one place. They can go to my Facebook page, you know, Charles Vest, V like Victor EST. You'll find me there. And
Charles Vest the Victor?
just Charles Vest. I just made it, you know, it's like what you wear, a vest. So my first and last name. So I'm in there under my first and last name. And you know, if you really want to find me, find Jason Freeman and he'll tell you how to get a hold of me.
Definitely.
Hey, did I mention the fact that my art might be displayed in a pretty prominent place later on this year?
Oh yeah. Good point. Tell us a little about that.
Well, it's all about manifestation. I manifested this place. I manifested some of my customers, and so I was able to manifest that my art will be displayed on the Las Vegas sphere. And it looks like in September, some of my art is going to actually be on the sphere, and it's going to be beautiful. And I'm going to have a drone fly over it. And even if it's only for 5 seconds, I'm going to have my art on the Las Vegas sphere. So that's pretty cool.
Can you imagine what your life would be if you hadn't followed that nudge you got when you painted the first painting?
No, because my life is so amazing right now. I just revel in the fact that at 60 years old, I was given a gift. I chose to dive into it. And now I would have never predicted that I get to live the life I live right now. Because my whole mantra is, or my whole words of advice is that your life could change at any time for the better. No.
Your life could change at any time for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Last question. What's the secret to being 60 and looking like you're 45?
a whole nother podcast.
Awesome.
But I'll give you 3 letters. DNA. It's really I'm just lean and I eat right, I work out, and I have a long ancestry of people that lived very long and didn't look very old.
DNA.
DNA.
What, I don't want
You were
to.
trying to figure out what DNA stands for, weren't you?
Yeah, I don't want to tell you how long that took me. Oh, gosh. Well, thank you so much, King Charles. This has been amazing.
It's been fun. Time flew by.
It did.
So
Sorry.
I just said thanks for having me, and thanks for being awkwardly awesome.
Cool. You're welcome. Thank you. Oh my gosh. The people around us are amazing. They're up to amazing things, and I mean, isn't that an exciting discussion? And I could have just passed by, just could have clicked love when I saw Charles's art a few months ago, and that could have been it. But I wanted to have this discussion. So I invite you, when you get curious about someone, maybe someone you haven't talked to for a while, and who might be doing something new, or maybe going through a hard time, or any number of things, just reach out and say, hey, I want to have a conversation. I'm curious about you. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. Thanks for tuning into Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. And thanks for comments, whether live or in the future. We'll love comments, and tune in next week for another Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. Talk to you later.